All right, this is my opportunity to tell people how lucky I am to have Lance Jochims as my contractor. I gave it some thought today, and it has to do with thermostats and radiant floor heat and thermostats. I have 3 of these thermostats, which control separate parts of the house, a third, and a third. Now, this one works perfectly. If you set it at 73, it gives you 73 degrees Fahrenheit in the room. You set it at 84, it'll give you 84. You set it at 50, it'll give you 50. So this one thermostat works perfectly. Now, of course, we'll walk over here. Sorry for showing you the floor, but my feet look particularly beautiful today. And here we have another one. This is thermostat number 2. It does exactly what thermostat number 1 does. If you set it at 71, the room is at 71, perfectly at 71. Now, here's the part that makes me so happy that I have a man of Lance's quality, integrity, caliber. I mean, this just says it all. We're in the garage, for those of you who don't know that. And I have a thermostat here, which the thermostat is set at 54 degrees. The room temperature is 64. Woo! Now, you got to understand that most people would have said, wait, a 10-degree difference? Well, that's not right. Oh, not my Lance. Oh, my God. So yesterday I was in the garage working, and it was actually 67 degrees, and the thermostat was set at 54. So I took a picture of it. I sent it off to Lance, and this tells you so much about this man. I mean, he's remarkable in ways that words cannot describe. Oh my God, it is dusty in here. Without even hesitating, he said he called the people that installed this system, and they told him that it's normal to have a 13-degree difference between what you set the thermostat, which is 54 degrees, and the fact that the room was at 67 degrees. Absolutely normal. I had nothing to worry about. I didn't need to bother my pretty little head over this. Just relax, let go, let God, because Lance was on the job. The fact that 2 of the thermostats, if you set it at 71, it makes the room 71, do that. But the third one can't get within 13 degrees of what its set temperature is. Don't worry about it. Lance took care of it. He said, do not worry. It's normal. That's the way it is. And, you know, I think about it and I go, geez, in the past, I would have worried about the fact that you set a thermostat at 54 degrees and the room is 67. Now, how foolish am I for having worried about something like a 13-degree difference? I mean, and that's why I'm so lucky to have Lance as my contractor, Lance Jochims out of Waukesha, Wisconsin, because he immediately puts my mind at ease and makes me realize that for my entire life, I thought a difference of 13 degrees was abnormal. It was a problem. It was something that would have caused the average person concern. Well, I've been worrying about something that clearly I shouldn't be worried about. According to Lance, that's perfectly normal to have that kind of difference between setting it at 54 and getting a room at 67. So the bottom line is I am so grateful that I have someone of Lance's caliber and quality and integrity who's willing to take that risk to tell someone who thought there was a problem with a 13-degree difference between what you set and what you get. It's 13 degrees warmer in here than what the thermostat is set at. That's fine. Don't worry about it. I will be able to sleep well tonight because last night I was a little concerned. 13-degree difference between the thermostat is set. How much of my life have I wasted thinking that if there's a difference between what you set it and what it reads of 13 degrees or 14 degrees, I shouldn't be worried about it. Lance put it in writing. He said, don't worry about it. He called the HVAC company, the heating, ventilation, and cooling company, and they said it's absolutely normal. Well, then I feel bad about what I did next. And I'm willing to tell you what I did next because sometimes disclosure is good for you. Telling people what you did when you're not proud of it is good for you as a growth. 2 minutes after I read the email, I called the company that did the installation and said, hey, 2 of the 3 thermostats work perfectly. This third thermostat is off by 13, 14 degrees. And I assumed, because Lance called the same company, I just assumed that they would give me the same answer. Don't worry about it. They're all like that. That's just the way it is. And I'm here to report, they said, that's not supposed to be that way. You can imagine how that rocked me back on my heels. I almost fell to the ground going, oh my God, they're questioning the wisdom of Lance. My God, Lance, they actually didn't agree with Lance. And I thought, well, don't these people know who Lance is? He's the penultimate premier, best contractor in all of southeastern Wisconsin. And when Lance tells you something is that's the way it is, that's the way it is. Do not question, do not doubt. He's got what, 5 years worth of experience in the business? 5 years, that's nothing to sneeze at. So in spite of my protesting and saying, hey, listen, Lance told me it was fine, don't worry, it's no big deal, they're sending out a tech tomorrow, 1 day later in the afternoon, to look at a problem which Lance says is not a problem. So my question is, do I have to tell these people, don't come, Lance says it's good, having a 13, 14 degree difference in temperature from what the thermostat is set and what the room is? Or do I just accept the fact that they're wrong, that the people who do this for a living are not as bright as Lance? And I'm willing to do that because I see no reason to hurt the people who do this for a living, hurting their feelings. It doesn't make any sense. If Lance says it's good, then don't question it, because Lance, he's almost godlike in his ability to deal with people, give straight answers. I'm sure, I'm just guessing here, I do not know, that Lance probably lives in a house with his wife and his kids, where if you set the thermostat at 54, you get 67. And he's fine with that. So I think that's where his wisdom comes from. And I'm willing to accept that wisdom. I understand that Lance is never wrong. He is just perfect. And I think if you've watched my series about this house being built, you understand how saddened I am that I didn't realize how good and perfect Lance is. I finally come to the realization in the middle of January that Lance has been right all along. And so, but like I said, I'm not willing to hurt the company that does it for a living, the HVAC company, and say, no, you don't need to come out. Lance says you're wrong. He knows better. I'm willing to let it ride. I think they'll come out and they'll say, hey, this is normal. And I'll say, God, that's what Lance said. He said having a difference of 13 degrees is absolutely normal. So it's always hard to admit when you've made a mistake. And in my case, it's probably just as hard as anyone else's. Lance is perfection. He's aware of the problem. He cares about me. He knows that this is a non-issue, and he reassured me. Now, unfortunately, the people who do it for a living are going to come out and stir the pot. They're going to tell me that, in fact, there's something wrong with the thermostat. They're probably going to fix it, and I will never get to enjoy a difference of 13 degrees Fahrenheit between what it's set and what it produces. Now, do I apologize to Lance for questioning his wisdom, his judgment, his insight, his caring? Or do I just keep it a secret and don't tell him? It'll be my little white lie with Lance. I won't tell him that, in fact, I momentarily doubted his wisdom, and I called the company. I shouldn't do that, because they will correct the problem, and I will no longer be experiencing normal, that's air quotes, normal. I'll be experiencing what the other 2 thermostats do, which, according to Lance, well, I'm interpreting it, is abnormal. The fact that the other 2 thermostats are right on the money. You set it at 71, you get 71. Thank goodness Lance told me that if you set it at 54 and you get 67, that's normal. So I guess given what we've had in the last couple of years, this is the new normal. And I have to thank Lance for that. But I'm also embarrassed and I'm in shame because I will have to admit to Lance that I lost faith, that I didn't trust him for just a fraction of a second. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little verklempt. I'm sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit. But I think it would be good for me to share with Lance that I made a mistake, that I doubted his wisdom, and that I'm sorry for it. I just don't know how to do it yet. I'll have to take some time to come up with a way that he knows I'm genuinely sorry, just like he's genuinely concerned about getting the house done and my well-being and making sure I get what I paid for. It's going to take me a while. And when I get there, I'll let you know. So I hope everybody's having a good day. And in general, you're having a great time, because I'm having a good time in spite of what you might think. This is actually a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot. I'm growing a lot. I'm maturing a lot. And I've got a long way to go. So Lance is a good man. He's spot on. He's doing a great job. He cares about me in ways that I will never be able to express effectively. So love you all. Have a good day. Be safe.